Hey, today we're doing infiltration testing for our official aggregate for Profi Deko. So Profi Deko is a two-component epoxy resin. It's mixed with 150 pounds of stone, so one unit for 150 pounds of stone. This is a 50-pound bag. This is the aggregate that we sell, so 3 of these bags to 1 unit, and you'll get yourself a nice resin surfacing stone that's clean and dry. It's sold like that. It controls the quality. So today we want to do infiltration testing. So I'm going to start from the beginning and actually do the mixing, let it cure, and then we'll do the infiltration testing after. So our infiltration testing is using these little rings. So these rings set inside our infiltrometer. This is just screening that I use for everything that we do so that it mimics the base material. So in this case it would be mimicking the 3/4 clear stone. In other cases it would be mimicking the 1/4 inch bedding stone that you would use underneath. Instead of just laying it flat on a piece of wood or something, because sometimes it will pick up, because it's that strong, it'll actually pick up wood if you were to do it that way. This here, once it's cured, I literally just peel this off, and now I have something that is more in line with what's out in the field. So we want to get that infiltration test as accurately as possible. So I don't do 150 pounds of stone, I'm only doing this. So I already know what 3 pounds of stone is. In all my samples I do 3 pounds. So this bucket right now, it's on a scale, it is 3 pounds of the aggregate from that you can get from Romex. So 3 pounds of stone. We're going to use the bigger bottle first. This bottle, by the way, is double the size of this bottle. It's a 1/8 cup of this resin and then half of this for the other resin. And that's really all it is. And then we mix it up. All right, so when I do this, I pour the resins in the exact same spot because I want the 2 resins to actually mix. And this is only half. So now I've got the 2 resins kind of mixing in one side of the bucket here. I just want to make sure that the mix is proper. Make sure these lids are back on so they don't spill anything. By the way, I'm inside my garage. It's cold outside. I've got a little heater going. That's what this is all about. It's containing the heat in here. Yeah, so I've got the resin there in that one side. I'm gonna mix that up and then slowly start mixing the remainder here. Okay, so that's all nicely mixed. I'm going to drop it into my little ring, just as if I'm on site. And that's it. I'm going to let this cure. One thing I didn't mention in this video is I heated up the stone a little bit, so you may have seen a little bit of steam coming up from the stones. So I heat up the stone a little bit to do samples in a cold garage like this, because I don't want it to take a week to cure. I'm only joking when I say that, but you know, I don't want to do this 3 days from now. I need to do this probably later today so I can get this infiltration testing and the numbers out as quick as possible. So I'm going to let that cure. I'm going to leave the heat on, keep the heat in here for a little bit. I'd say in about 3 hours this will be cured. I'm going to let it sit for probably another 3 to 6 hours after that, just to make sure that it's completely cured, and then we'll run the infiltration testing. And here I am 24 hours later. So nice and solid. I actually checked a few hours later. It was hard. I just didn't know if it was hard inside. So anyways, I gave it 24 hours. And here we are. Here's the screen on the back. I just peel that off. Like I said, all that does is it mimics your bedding material that it goes on, or your 3/4 clear stone, so that it's not sitting there with a film of plastic. So there it is. This is the Romex aggregate that you get in 50-pound bags, and we'll do an infiltration test. And we're back for another round of infiltration testing. This time we're doing the Romex aggregate. It comes in a 50-pound bag. We have 4 different colors to choose from. Ontario-based contractors. The bags are right now available in the US, but in the Toronto, Ontario market, we will be launching it in the spring for 2026. So keep an eye out for that. What I wanted to do was test the infiltration rate with our Profi Deko 2-part epoxy resin and our Trass aggregate, which also can be used with Profi Deko, and this is the color that you get with this particular one. So the infiltration test, again, it's 18 liters of water. 18 liters corresponds to 40 pounds of water. This is a standard ASTM measuring, so we're going to stick to that. 18 liters of water, and you don't want to pass the 10 millimeter mark of water. So I'm not going to fill this right up and then let it drain. It actually has to be a certain amount at a time added into the bucket. It's timed from the time the water goes in to the time the water completely voids out of the bucket. That is the time that we use for our infiltration. Again, this diameter is 10% of this diameter. So you can see I've got a little hole at the bottom, and all this does is it allows me to do infiltration testing for whatever. People send me all sorts of stuff to test. We want to know the inches per hour based on 10%. That is our guideline. We're basing everything on 10%. So we'll put this at the bottom. There we go. I already know this is going to be a very quick test. Profi Deko is just a very high infiltration. It's our highest, and it's based on stone size. So this is a 1/4 inch stone. I'm guessing this is going to be probably around the 1800 inches per hour. That's a lot. The water just pours straight through this stuff. So without further ado, 18 liters of water, here we go. So one thing I've noticed is this is pouring very fast, so I'm having a hard time actually keeping up with the minimum amount that is supposed to be in here, but Almost done here. As soon as this water stops out of the bucket, that's the end. And finished. So that was 1 minute and 15 seconds, it looks like. Inches per hour will be right here. And that's Profi Deko with our bagged aggregate.